Today is Saturday. I'm driving to Crystal Lake. That's where I have a couple of condos that I rent out. I started buying them in like 2017 for really cheap. Now it's time to shift the money. When I was buying these condos, I thought like, why would you ever want to sell a real estate investment property? Just keep it, brings cash flow, keep raising rents. Why would you ever want to sell? And now I have the answer for it. Is because you're relocating the money. Because right now I'm at the position and the stage of my investing career where I want to maximize the equity. I bought the unit for $82,000 and I've put in almost 20. I think it was 18,000 worth of work. So pretty much I'm all in for 100 grand. My loan is 60. I'm looking to get 150. So I can pull 90 minus closing cost. It's probably going to be around 80, let's say. I'm going to save on the listing agent commission because I'm going to be a listing agent myself. And the buyer's agent's going to be, let's say it's going to be between 2 and 2.5. So that's roughly 3 grand. It's even probably going to be more than 80, maybe 80 and some change. I can take that 80, I can add one more like that, and I can buy 6 units. So instead of having just 1 unit, I can sell 2 and own 6, and add a little bit of the cash that I have in the savings account, and that together, because like for now, like for the 6 unit, you'll probably need around 200,000 to buy as a 25% down on 800,000, 900,000. 220 roughly you'll need. So I'll have to sell 2 condos that would produce about 80,000-90,000 in equity at the closing, and I'll still have to add a little bit of my own money, but it's still just switching 2 condos for 6 units. I'm adding a little bit of my cash, but that's fine. And now I have a couple things that's going on. Now I have more units, which means more cash flow with time. Depends on how I buy it. If I buy a building that's not really producing too much cash flow, I'll raise with time and I'll have more cash flow. The bigger the loan, the more money you make, because every single month your tenants are paying the loan, and the loan drops down every single month more and more the more you owe. The more money you owe, the more money you make, because every single month your tenants are paying down the bigger loan. So that's one of the tricks that I've learned with time. I used to buy cheap condos, and I thought that the cheap deal means good deal, because everybody wants cheap deal, but that's not necessarily how you need to be looking at it. You need to see the equity. You could be buying something expensive, but if there is still room and it's a big loan, you're going to make more money. One thing, it's going to appreciate, and the other thing, it's going to be paying down faster. So here's the complex. This is in Crystal Lake. There's 3 buildings big like this, 3-story. Nice condition, very nice quiet area. I really loved it when I first bought it. Still loving it, but it's time to upgrade. So they did the siding. I see it's black. I haven't been here for probably like a few years. These tenants, like every single unit that I have here is like 3 units. Every single tenant has been there for a long time. So I didn't really have to come here too often. Oh, I see, I recognize the guy. He's a maintenance guy. I forgot his name, by the way, but it's okay. Okay, so it's a hallway. Looks like they just painted everything. Looks good. This is the unit. I renovated everything when I bought it in 2021. We did everything, like floors. I did not do the patio window, but we did the kitchen, all the lights, the countertops, the appliances, added this pantry. So then we've got all of the doors, baseboards. I don't remember if we did this or not. This is electric. Window is older, but there's a closet in here. I don't want to show too many pictures of, there's a walk-in closet like this. That's another closet. This is the bathroom. So everything is great condition. Sometimes I feel bad for selling something that the work has been done. A lot of it is done, the rent is good, and but you have to move, you have to keep going, unless you just don't want to grow, then that's fine. You can just hold everything. But I kind of want to grow, so that's the reason for the sale. And the second thing is this. In order for me to sell condos, my top dollar is most likely is going to be from the person who wants to move in. So I always will have to end the lease. Right now I'm negotiating with a couple of my tenants to end the lease early. What I need to do, I need to pay them. This one, luckily, the one I'm driving to, is ending in less than a month. And so I told her that I'm planning to sell it. Unless if we raise rent by $250, you're gonna stay. I give her like two options. So she's reviewing the option of rent. Meanwhile, I'm trying to sell. If she decides to stay and pay $250 more, I'll keep it. But if today I have 5 showings lined up, if today I'm going to be showing and I'm gonna get offers, I'm probably gonna sell. And then I'll switch it to a 6-unit building. So the thing is, with apartment buildings, you can sell anytime because the buyer of apartment building is looking for a place with tenants. They're looking to invest. They're looking for stabilized property. They're looking for great cash flow. If you do all that work, you're going to get a good buyer and you're going to make good money. I'm not necessarily looking to buy buildings to sell them, but you never know. Like I was buying condos never to sell them, but now I'm selling. So it depends on where you go with this investing thing. You might be going far, and maybe you're gonna get a good deal. Maybe, I don't know. I don't have a good deals on the bigger properties yet, but if I, for example, is given an opportunity to buy a 48-unit building that is probably like $7 million, you have to put down probably close to $2 million. And if you don't have that cash around, but then you have 4 buildings, let's say, or 2 buildings where you can pool close to that, then maybe that makes sense to sell. And then you can put the building for sale like this. Like it takes 5 minutes and it's right there. And then you usually will show 1 unit in a common area. So we just had about 4 people come in. And so far everybody likes it, of course. Some said that they're gonna send an offer. Looking forward to it. And even I told one guy that if I don't sell it, I'm gonna rent it for $1,200, which my rent right now is actually $1,075. I should be raising my rent. And I told my tenant if I don't sell it, the new rent will be $1,250. And he said, $1,200? Oh my God, it's so amazing. I'll try to buy. But if I can't buy, can I rent? I said, no, we'll probably have to keep the same tenants in there. So I just remembered that my very first deal that I bought in this complex, I paid 50 grand. I paid 50,000 and I did the renovation for 10,000. So total was 60 grand for me. Right now, but like if I sell this unit for 145, maybe multiple offers I'm gonna sell for 160, who knows? Then it's like, wow, that's a great return that this area has produced. And rents, like I remember my first rent, I was charging $875 for my first, to my first tenant. And right now they're $1,250. So it's like $400 that the rents went up. Like sometimes it's just ridiculous what's going on. I don't know. Part of me just wants to try and move the equity and just double down. But I also, when I was buying, going back to the first apartment that I bought, when I was buying my first unit, I was worried. I was scared. I thought that I shouldn't be doing it because it's stressful. You know, whatever you're buying and whatever you pay, sometimes it's just a stressful process. And even if you're getting a deal, but right now buyers are not getting deals. They're overpaying for things. There should be even more stressful. I remember myself being stressful. It's like, you're really paying only 50 grand. You're financing this whole thing. The renovation of the whole unit cost 11,000. That's what I paid, 11,000 for renovating the whole thing. But I was stressing out because I didn't have money. I was like, everything was super tight for me. And why I was buying, I don't know. I would say that this is kind of like a mistake, but it turned out to be pretty good. Pretty happy that I did it, but I'm just sharing, like, every buyer is worried, especially when they're overpaying. I was buying a 50 grand condo. I was worried. I was buying my first condo for myself. I was also stressful. I was almost backing out. But then I decided, okay, well, I'll whatever, I'll buy it, because there was a lot of cracks along all the windows, all the doors. But then we just painted, patched it, and some of them came back out, but whatever. I still have the unit for, also bought in 2017, but a few months later after this one. And everything's fine. It's appreciated in value also, like 80 grand or something. And rent is pretty good. So it is what it is. You start moving faster. Because like with condos right now, I would love to be able to sell them all, not all, the ones that have equity and cash flow isn't as high. Because if you don't have equity, there's no reason to sell. Just keep it. Let it appreciate and pay itself down. But the cheaper the condo, the less you make by paying it down. Like if your loan is 50 grand, every single year you pay down about 1,000. So that's not really, you don't really see the money in that. And it appreciates a little bit. You will see the money in appreciation. But there's 4 ways. You know, I like cash flow, appreciation, I like loan pay down, and then at the end I do cost segregation. Cost segregation is a way for you to write off amortization. It's, you know, tile, laminate, kitchen cabinets, appliances, everything is getting old and eventually you'll have to be replacing it. So there's a tax code that allows you to just bonus and depreciate everything fast, right away in the first year. I'm not gonna go into it too much because I really don't even know too much. I know roughly, and my accountant helps me out with it, and I really love real estate because of it. And a big reason of me buying real estate is also because of the cost segregation too. And now I want to include this bigger income source of loan pay down, which is huge. If you really look at the loans that are like $1 million, for example, $1 million loan. In 30 years, you're either going to have a $50,000 condo paid off, or $1 million loan paid off. I would rather take $1 million loan paid off if the numbers work, if there's enough units, if there's enough cash flow, if it's a smart buy, there's equity upside. You can leverage, you can refinance and pull a lot of your money within a year. That's another thing that I really love about apartment buildings, is that you can buy an apartment building, raise rents, do some upgrades, and then go back to the bank and pull a lot of it. Maybe not all the money, but a lot of money. So we've had probably like 8 groups finally. I'm done showing it. Probably gonna get a couple offers, sounds like. We got 8 groups, everybody likes it, everybody wants to move in. Some buyers I saw that they're not really ready yet, but those that are ready, they're pretty much ready to go. There's nothing that you don't like in an apartment. Now I don't even know if I want to sell. That's that remorse. There's a buyer's remorse, there's seller's remorse. So I just noticed also there's a unit, the 1 bedroom, that's rented right now for $13.75 and I'm charging $10.75. So I'm like, maybe just raise rent and keep it. It's already remodeled, good location, everything's great. I don't know. I'll let you know what I decide. But I'm probably gonna get multiple offers. Probably gonna go over ask. If you have a loan for $600, for $600,000, that's your balance, and you bought the property for $800. That's a good example. And then you raised rent and you improve the property, and now the property is worth $1 million. So now the bank can actually give you $750,000 loan, close out the $600, give you new of $750, and the $150 is a check to you, because they give you new loan $750, they close the $600, they pay down the $600, and now the $150 that's left is a check to you. You bought it with $200,000 loan, and then you got $150 back. So it's like pretty much you own this building with $50,000 of your own money in the deal, plus some upgrades that you've done. Okay, let's say up to $100,000. You buy 2 condos, you're already $100,000 in the deal. Now you have a 6 flat that pays down. You make more money by just holding it. The loan comes down and appreciates because rents keep going up. I wish I knew this much faster. This took me since 2017. This took me 7 years. I started buying in 2023. 6.5 years, let's say, to understand this game, but also to make money. So even if I, knew how it works, I didn't have the money to buy in the beginning. So that's fine. Everything is good. I'm happy where I'm at. I don't regret buying any condos. You know what I think? I think everybody should be investing in real estate. And I think that, sometimes there's a lot of people that would say, real estate's so slow. I don't even want to hear it. There's no money. You're talking about $300, $400 per unit per month. Yeah, but that's one. It's one of the sources. There's four sources. And that it's semi-passive. Like even if you have a lot of units, you're not really like 9 to 5. Sometimes when you're doing the renovations, you're going through permits, you buying, inspection. It depends how far you are in the process and how many deals you're doing and everything. But if you're just starting out, even if you're doing it in a couple of years, you're most likely part-time. You're not really like I'm running a real estate brokerage with over 100 agents actively. I still sell. I would say like top 1%. I'm getting top 1% awards every single year. So kind of like selling a lot, I would say, but I'm slowing down from what I'm used to be selling. Every year I'm slowing down. And I'm investing. Every year I'm buying a bunch of units and keep buying. So it's like you can manage it all if you really want. Plus making content on different platforms, different languages. I'm here to make money. I'm not here just to put people in apartments. I want to be a good landlord who takes care of things, helps out tenants, but I need to be paid. Things have to make sense. Like insurance company, they don't care what's going on in your life. There's a payment. Taxes. There's a payment. I have to pay these things, or there's going to be a lien and I'm going to lose the property. And tenants, they sometimes don't pay, and there's laws that will help them and it will protect them in there. But back to what I was saying about real estate agents, they should all invest in real estate. If you consider yourself a professional, if you think that people should hire you, you should believe in the market. Or if people are buying, you should tell them don't buy because everything's going to crash. And if there's a moment that real estate is churning and you think this is not the good investment, it's not the good market, then openly tell everybody it's not a good time to buy. You should be selling. Everybody should be selling. Hello, don't buy, start selling. But if you believe it's a good time to buy, and if people ask you is it a good time to buy, you say yes, why don't you buy yourself? You should buy yourself too. That's what I believe. So today's Sunday, and yesterday I was showing my investment condo that I'm actually decided to sell. And like I said, we had like 8 people that came by, and I already have 3 offers, and I'm waiting on 1 more. So there will be 4 offers. I kind of expected that after showing these places, that place to all these people, because I saw the feedback from them, and they were all they were excited to see it. It was something that people were looking for. One person wanted to move in, the other one is looking to invest, everything in between. It's a nice complex. So I started, as I was driving back home from the showing, I started thinking maybe I should keep it. Maybe I should keep it. Just raise rent, make $600 a month as a cash flow, keep the asset, let it appreciate, let it pay itself down a little bit. And for the whole day, for the rest of the day yesterday, I was actually still, not 100% sure that I'm selling. But I messaged a couple of investors that are really, ahead of me, big time ahead of me, and they all said sell it. Sell, but don't use the money. Sell the condo, but don't take the money and waste it. Put it as a down payment on a bigger unit, which is my plan. Now, today, I'm sure I'm selling. I'm still negotiating. I'm still receiving offers. I told everybody within 24 hours, Monday at 12, we will be making an offer. We'll be making a decision. Please submit your highest and best. Make sure the offer is going to be, the best that you're gonna send me, and we're gonna review everything. Right now I have one that's gonna be waiving an inspection, which is always good. It's always good to have inspection waived, because you don't want the inspector to come in if it's your place and picking things and look at things and point out things, and then the buyer's like, yeah, I want this fixed, that fixed, and then you have another, negotiations. Of course, if you're the buyer, you want it. If you're the buyer's agent, you should be telling the buyer to do it. But when you're on the other side, when you're a seller or listing agent, you don't want it, because that's another reason to break the deal. Once you have the deal, you want it to close, and that's just an inspection thing, which you don't really want. So if they're gonna go up a little bit more and have no inspection, I think it's a no-brainer. Right now, I don't know yet. We'll see. Maybe we'll have another offer. Maybe after calling for highest and best, somebody else is gonna go higher, and then we're just gonna make a decision. But I'll keep you posted. I'll tell you everything soon.